Some people are taught that the police are the thin line between order and chaos. They're supposed to be the protectors of peace, the heroes of every community. But in Bikini Bottom, the story looks very different. The police aren't fearless crime stoppers. They aren't even competent. In fact, when you pay close attention, you realize they're not there to solve problems at all. They are the problem. The clearest example comes from Hall Monitor. In this episode, Mrs. Puff gives SpongeBob the responsibility of being a hall monitor for boating school. Instead of keeping order in the classroom, SpongeBob immediately transforms the position into a caricature of law enforcement. He puts on the uniform, gives himself a badge, and starts acting like a cop. What's striking here is how quickly SpongeBob's self-image changes. He doesn't see himself as a student helping out. He sees himself as an officer of the law, patrolling the streets and enforcing rules. SpongeBob announces curfews, orders citizens to disperse, and creates fear in the community where there wasn't any before. Bikini Bottom residents aren't safer with SpongeBob as hall monitor. They're terrified. He even scares them into thinking a criminal is on the loose, when the only real disturbance is SpongeBob himself. The satire here is obvious. SpongeBob isn't protecting anyone. He's manufacturing a sense of danger, then using it to justify his authority. This mirrors the way real police forces often inflate crime statistics or focus on petty infractions to appear useful, while ignoring systemic problems. In the end, Mrs. Puff strips him of his authority, but the damage is already done. The community never needed a hall monitor. And just like in the real world, the crime disappears the moment the enforcer is gone. One of the most infamous police failures in SpongeBob comes in SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. After SpongeBob unknowingly tattles on a criminal for littering, the police arrest the Tattletale Strangler. But here's the punchline: their arrest is useless. Within minutes, the Strangler escapes from custody, off-screen, without explanation, and proceeds to stalk SpongeBob for the rest of the episode. This episode highlights two key critiques of policing. First, the police only care about minor infractions, like littering. The Strangler isn't even being arrested for assault or violent crime. He's arrested for dropping trash on the ground. That's a perfect metaphor for how policing often prioritizes low-level offenses, like jaywalking, loitering, or broken taillights, over actual harm reduction. Second, the police can't even hold on to the guy. Their job is supposedly to keep dangerous individuals away from the public, yet the Strangler escapes with ease and terrorizes SpongeBob the entire day. The only reason the Strangler gets caught in the end isn't police work at all. It's SpongeBob's obliviousness. SpongeBob accidentally exhausts the Strangler by dragging him through endless chores and activities until the Strangler begs to be taken to jail. The cops swoop in at the very end to take credit, but it's SpongeBob's sheer luck, not police competence, that resolves the conflict. What we see here is the state's monopoly on violence without responsibility. The Strangler wouldn't have been a threat if the police hadn't released him through incompetence. And once he was loose, they did nothing to help. The officers show up only to maintain the illusion of control, not to actually provide safety. In Nasty Patty, the police take on a different role. They're not just incompetent, they're overzealous and cruel. The episode begins when SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs mistake a health inspector for a criminal trying to scam them. They serve him a disgusting Nasty Patty as punishment, thinking they're protecting themselves. But when the inspector falls unconscious, they panic, believing they've killed him. Here's where the police come in. Throughout the episode, SpongeBob and Krabs try to hide the body, terrified of being caught. The humor comes from how absurdly harsh the Bikini Bottom police are depicted. Mr. Krabs even describes them as ruthless, saying the cops will lock you up forever if they think you've committed a crime. The fear of state punishment is so overwhelming that SpongeBob and Krabs behave more recklessly than ever, digging graves, sneaking around, and making themselves look suspicious. But here's the kicker. When the police finally do appear, they're completely useless. They spend the episode casually eating at the Krusty Krab, oblivious to the chaos right under their noses. They fail to notice SpongeBob and Krabs dragging what looks like a dead body past them multiple times. And when the inspector wakes up and the truth comes out, the police only step in to scold the inspector himself, punishing him for ordering a disgusting patty. The satire is sharp. Citizens fear the police not because they provide safety, but because their power is arbitrary and disproportionate. SpongeBob and Krabs are right to be scared. Once accused, they would have no defense. The show makes it clear that police exist not as neutral arbiters of justice, but as an unpredictable force of punishment. Another example comes in The Smoking Peanut. In this episode, SpongeBob throws a peanut at Clamu, the giant clam in the zoo, just trying to get its attention because it wasn't reacting to anything. But the moment the peanut hits, Clamu bursts into uncontrollable crying. The entire zoo goes into chaos, and suddenly, everyone's treating the situation like a massive crime scene. The police arrive immediately, But instead of calmly investigating, they panic. They interrogate SpongeBob, demand answers, and treat him like a hardened criminal over what was clearly an accident. The officers show no understanding, no empathy, just blind enforcement of the rules. They don't even try to calm Clemu down or solve the real problem. Their obsession is with finding someone to blame. At one point, they even arrest Patrick for no reason other than standing near SpongeBob. When SpongeBob finally admits he threw the peanut, they act as if the case is closed, as though punishment matters more than resolution. And in the end, it's revealed that Clemu was crying not because of the peanut, but because someone stole her pearl. The real crime, completely ignored by the police the entire time. That's the punchline. They went after the wrong person for the wrong reason and ignored the actual issue entirely. The show's humor makes it easy to miss, but the message is clear. The police exist to maintain order, not truth. In Krabby Land, Mr. Krabs builds a junky amusement park out of scrap metal and garbage to attract kids and take their money. He promises them a fun experience and a performance by Krabby the Clown, but it's all a scam. SpongeBob is forced to entertain the kids while Mr. Krabs counts his profits in the back. When the children realize they've been tricked, they riot. They storm the Krusty Krab, throw their money back, and humiliate Mr. Krabs for lying to them. And where are the police during all this? Nowhere. Mr. Krabs openly defrauds an entire group of children, and no one in authority lifts a fin. This absence isn't random, it's the point. SpongeBob's world exposes how systems of power protect wealth over justice. When it's a scam benefiting the boss, there's no accountability. But if SpongeBob littered or sneezed too loud, the cops would be there in seconds. It's a sharp satire of how policing prioritizes petty control over meaningful protection. In SpongeBob's Last Stand, SpongeBob and Patrick discover a highway project that will destroy jellyfish fields. They hand out flyers, organize a protest, and try to save their beloved environment. But when they resist the construction, who shows up? The police. Not to help, but to shut them down. SpongeBob and Patrick get arrested, not for harming anyone, but because SpongeBob doesn't have a license for his sitar. The police literally side with the developers, enforcing corporate progress while silencing environmental resistance. The state doesn't protect nature, it protects profit. The cops don't care about jellyfish fields or the creatures losing their homes. Their job is to remove obstacles to economic growth, even if it destroys community spaces. SpongeBob and Patrick's protest echoes real-world movements, crushed by police under the guise of keeping order. In Bikini Bottom, law enforcement's loyalty isn't to the people, it's to whoever signs the checks. Across these episodes, one pattern is undeniable. The police of Bikini Bottom are not protectors of justice, they're tools of control. Whether they're absent in Krabby Land or oppressive in SpongeBob's Last Stand, their presence, or lack of it, always serves the same purpose: maintain the status quo. They ignore real harm, punish the powerless, and uphold systems that exploit others. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and follow for more deep dives into the hidden truths of Bikini Bottom. Thank you for watching.